Hey guys, Huz here, bringing you another commentary, this time on Thresh support. Now, in the latest league discussion, I actually showed 10 minutes of this game in the background, and the question for that video was, would you want to see a full game commentary? And yeah, the answer was yes. I don't think I had... maybe there was one person that said no, out of about 50, 60 comments. So yeah, the vast majority wanted this game, and I aim to please. So yeah, without much deliberation, I decided to do it. And firstly, I'll say is yes, support is my least played role, but I have a general idea of what I'm doing. I can play support to diamond level fairly easily. The whole point of support is the only role in the game that I feel is more than just mechanics. That could make you win. A mid laner can simply win due to mechanics. A top laner can win by mechanics. Jungler I would say can't. Maybe jungler is mainly decision making as well. But support is vast majority decision making. It is a lot of decision making. If you're going to ward, where are you going to ward? Are you going to ping? Are you going to time? Are you going to engage? Because you're normally the engager in bot lane. Who are you going to engage on? They're all them type of things you have to think of as support. And I quite like playing support every now and then. I'm not someone that will go into solo queue and say I'm not playing support. I kind of disagree with them type of people that if you are going into ranked and you're flat out refusing to play a certain role, in my opinion, you should not go into ranked. Sure, when you're in the champion thing, say pref that role, but yeah, don't say. Anyway, you probably wonder why some Threshers do that. They wait over the wall. You can do it for this red buff, you can do it for this blue buff. And basically it's to avoid your jungler having damage taken. So if we look at the Jarvan's health, he's just over half. Look at the Lee's health, he's below half. It just saves one auto attack or so that in the long run it can make a difference, especially when they go to top lane and have a little duel, etc. Because it could save him a health potion, which could come in handy. So anyway, we are a Jinx Thresh lane, and we are against a Annie Ezreal. Now, by definition, Annie is apparently a counter to Thresh support, simply because a Thresh likes to engage on people a lot. And Annie basically has enough damage that should get the Thresh off. Now, as you can see, I got chunked quite hard. But I do have a little bit of regen. Now, the one thing you'll notice with my build is I start pretty much all wards. I don't start a rejuvenation bead or a fairy charm. I purely go wards, as that's as important as wards are in this game. That's just fairly simple. If you look in the higher ELOs, many supports don't start a fairy charm or rejuve bead anymore because wards are so important. Especially when you're against the likes of a Lee Sin jungle. Lee Sin obviously trying to use his early pressure to his advantage. He'll probably want to gank as much as he can. Now you can see my fatal flay there. I will say throughout this game that although I like the champion Thresh, he is one of my favourite supports to play, he's not the one I'm actually used to playing the most. The one I'm probably used to playing the most is Blitz. Obviously been playing League now for, it probably is actually nearing 3 years now that I think of it. That's quite sad. But I remember back in the summer it was like 2. So yeah, maybe 2.5 years I've been playing League, maybe more. I'll have to check it after this video. And pretty much since the start of when Blitz came out, I've played him every now and then. And if I've played him every now and then over the course of 2 odd years, then yeah, I'm fairly familiar with that champion. Anyway, I throw a pink ward down in this bush, as when you're playing a champion like Thresh or Blitz, the whole point of that champion is have bush control. Now, one thing you have to be careful of is not just hiding away in the bush forever. If you're hiding away in the bush forever, not applying any pressure, then your AD carry is just simply going to get poked out of lane. Now again, I will add that some of these little hooks unfortunately don't hit. Now I do get first blood, which is okay, and I thought Jinx may be able to pick up this kill. There's the barrier from Ez, and there's the flash. So we do get double summoners from Ez, which is arguably, a very good trade, as we probably could kill him when he comes back in lane, hopefully. But me getting the first blood is, it's okay and it's not. I like, it's greedy to say, and when I play AD carry, I do not mind if my support gets first blood or the first kill in lane. Because right now, I already have my Philo Stone. Now, Annie also has a Philo Stone, but this will give me a considerable amount of gold. If we look into the gold tab, I do have 200 more gold than Annie already, so that will help me in the long run. As supports don't get a lot of gold, as you'd imagine. In Season 4, that's hopefully going to be changing, and that really should open up support to many more people, in the fact that people don't enjoy support because they don't think that they're having an active role in winning the game, because they haven't got items to do so, or they feel weak. Where in Season 4, if all the rumours are kind of true, in that supports are going to have, nearly full builds by a long game as well, then yeah, that should really be good. Supports like Zyra or Annie, I think, will come into their own when they can just build damage. They'll be able to support your items, but normally when you're playing a Zyra support or any support, you go one way or the other. You go damage or you go support. And if you go support, you'll do no damage. If you go damage, you'll be squishy as hell, and you'll offer no support to your AD carry. So no Mikhails, no Shirelias, no real ward items, etc. So you have to be careful, the balance, where in Season 4, if the gold is, really perfectly tweaked, you may see supports actually be quite strong. So anyway, Jinx has returned to lane. She has picked up herself. Well, basically her and Ezreal are now even. And again, that hook, well, obviously me not being used to Thresh that much, is the hitbox is a bit unreliable from when I'm landing hooks, as it registers a hit even though it doesn't hit the minion visibly. The hitbox is obviously big enough that it does. Now, you will note that I auto-attack quite a lot on Thresh, and this is basically down to the runes I use. My runes are Health Quints, AD Reds, Armor Yellows, and MR Blues. I think it's quite a good page, in that I also use it for Shen top, that it just makes Shen unkillable in the early game, and it does near the same for Thresh. Well, it doesn't make him unkillable, but when that first blood trade went down, they had to put a lot on me to kill me, which led Jinx basically being untouched, and that's the whole point of the type of support I play. I play a fairly aggressive support that I don't even care if I die, in the fact that if we get kills, if my AD carry gets kills. Now, it's not great if we don't get kills. Now, I just do a little simple maneuver that isn't amazingly special, and we actually kind of lose the trade in the end to that. Kinda. We still probably have lane pressure. The wave is pushing, but yeah, okay, now we actually did lose that trade. So Ezreal is doing considerable damage. Jinx, spam, combo, and there's a kill. Unfortunately, there's a friendly neighborhood Zed, and Ezreal actually manages to pick up that kill, so that's not great. Jinx is, well, she's not going to survive, so she's just going to do a bit of farming, why not? And then, arguable thing here is that she flashes any second. There we go. I wouldn't have flashed if I was her. There was not much point. I would have tried to put as much damage onto Ezreal as I could, as there was a Jarvan with red buff coming, and Ezreal had no flash. So that would have been my choice, but hindsight is a beautiful thing. That when you're watching these replays or when I'm doing these commentaries, you always notice things that people could have done better. Now the Zilean, I have to comment about the Zilean, in the fact that this guy mains Zilean. It is the first guy I've met that mains the champion, but there is apparently one person at least in every server that mains every champion. Someone will main Yorick, some person will main Karma. In every single server, there will be at least one person that does that. So apparently I've met the one that mains Zilean. But yeah, I'd imagine there are more that main Zilean, because he's actually quite a fun champion to play. And this guy's actually beating Zed. I've always thought this. Zed is not a undestructible beast that cannot be stopped. I play weird picks versus Zed, and they work very well, like Heimerdinger. Before Heimerdinger's buff, I played Heimerdinger versus Zed, and Heimerdinger did actually very, very well, where normally people think that Heimerdinger is a troll pick, where he did really well. Anyway, Annie is coming out of position, just throw my ultimate down and ignite and go for the kill. Pull her back into my little ultimate there. I did that on purpose. There's the ultimate from Jinx. I pulled her back into my ultimate on purpose, but I'm not really sure in the mechanics, in that if it does apply the slow again or does the damage. I accidentally stole a cannon minion there, but I'm not complaining. So there's a nice free kill for my Jinx. Now Ezreal, unfortunately, is 3-0-0. Now this lane, by just looking at it, we've had domination or been lane dominant. Had lane domination all match so far. In the fact that we've had bush control, which I know Annie likes having. We've had our lane always pushed into their tower. There's another fail flay. But we've been doing generally well. Now, one thing I do want to note, this ward here, if you're pushed to tower, try and get a ward here. You just run up the side here, ward into that tri-bush, and that completely stopped Lee Sin coming in. It's really obvious, and that's where a lot of junglers gank from if people are pushed to tower. Anyway, I do engage onto the Ezreal. Now, unfortunately, that E there was literally like a millimeter too short from my flay. Now, again, Jinx ult comes down, and 1 bar health from Ezreal, so just over 100 health, and we don't manage to get the kill. But again, it does give us lane dominance. Now, what's happening in this game is Zilean killed Zed again. Zilean has killed Zed by himself 2 times this game, but Lee Sin did manage to pick up the Zilean for himself. But that's fine with us for now. And we're going to continue pushing this lane. There's not much to say. Jinx is a little bit ahead of farm, and as much as the AD carries out of lane, you want to push it into the wave so he is denied the farm. So we're just pushing it up a little bit. Look at the tower just killing to the minions. Look at that W. Now, I don't know, is the Jinx... Yep, this Jinx is maxing her W. You can do 2 different play styles on Jinx. If you're very comfortable in landing skill shots, max your W. If you're not so and want to rely on auto attacks, then max your Q. That's basically the 2 playstyles of Jinx. Personally, I prefer maxing W nowadays. A very kind fan actually gave me a mystery gift, and I got Mafia Jinx. Although it's not my favourite skin, it has actually led that I don't have a skin now for only 3 champions. Some of them I won't get unless a mystery gift happens to get me it. Like, I don't have skins for Nami. I don't like Koi. Zac, I don't like the purple version. I prefer the green. And Poppy, I think, is the final one where I don't mind Scarlet Poppy, but I don't really play Poppy. Well, saying that, I don't play most of the champions I have skins for majority of the time. Anyway, I'm returning to lane. I have picked up my first Sightstone, which will give me some free wards and help me save gold now for the rest of the game. Ezreal, again... I will keep saying, you know, I am not the best Thresh, so you will see that occasionally, but, you know, I'm doing okay. If you can land okay flays every now and then, it's like a Nidalee spit. If you can land every now and then it's alright. Now, I do engage onto the Annie with Flash and Ultimate, and that will give a kill for my Jinx. Now, it's arguable to say with my Flay, but I didn't even care what direction it was going to go in. She was dead anyway. I knew she didn't have Flash. So, yeah, that was a fairly good play. Do put my Flash down. I did save my Ignite because I knew the Annie was kind of dead. Ezreal also just flashed. Jarvan is actually going quite ham, but I remember this turning quite badly. This is why you should never really just tunnel vision for a kill. Lee Sin nearly does actually kill the Ezreal just then, but that does give Ezreal another kill. So this is kind of what's happening in this game. We've had lane dominance, but Ezreal has just found himself picking up every kill that has happened in bot lane. You know, my 2 deaths, Ezreal's picked them up. Jinx's death, Ezreal's picked it up. Now, Jarvan's death, Ezreal's picked it up. It's just the way it's happened. Now, unfortunately, Zed has roamed, and they're just going to put their attention to me. Now, I have Zilean ult, so I want them to kill me. I'm like, kill me, please. I'm like the Joker from Batman. So they do end up killing me, so thank you very much. And that does lead me to have, I think, is it 40% health for the first... Oh, okay, it's actually a flat amount. I didn't even know. It's 850 health plus 182 health. So that's actually quite a good amount. I don't even know if that's been changed. As I say, Zilean is a pick you don't really see often. And I haven't played Zilean probably in over a year in a proper game. I've probably played him in ARAM every now and then, but yeah. Anyway, go back and pick up my tier 1 boots. Obviously, tier 1 boots very good on Thresh, but I also say they're very good on Annie support. Mobility boots, Annie support is very, very good. Mobility boots, Annie mid is also very good, as just that Tibbers roam or that Tibbers flash that people can't dodge with that movement speed is basically how you play Annie. So anyway, my Jinx is starting to build. I believe, well, her build is a bit odd. She bought the pickaxe earlier on, basically just to keep up a little bit with damage with the Ezreal, as the Ezreal was getting a little bit ahead with getting that Phage really early on, which is a ridiculously strong item still. She wanted just a little bit of damage, which I can respect, but I do actually think that she's buying a Bloodthirster first. Now, levels-wise, if we look into the lane, my Jinx is level 9, I'm level 8, and the enemy is Ezreal is level 9, and the Annie is level 6. So that kind of shows how much we've been bullying this Annie. Now, I'll do, again, the the Lantern Q, but unfortunately Jinx didn't take the the W, which is unfortunate. We may have actually picked up the kill, but Ezreal would have done probably a lot more damage to us if we did both commit to that little fight there. But that does also lead Annie again out of lane. Now this is what we're doing all game. We're just completely bullying this Annie. Get the nice flay, use my ultimate, and he's straight into the ultimate, and there you go. Nice shutdown for Jinx. And Annie cannot do anything as she's too low. We've bullied her out too much, and this will probably be a free bot tower for us right now. So we are playing this fairly well. I enjoy games like this. I will admit, you know, playing a good support, playing a good lane in League of Legends is always fun, and that's why I always say to people, you know, play everything. Sure, have a main role, but playing other roles really sometimes is really a nice feeling. It's playing the same champion over and over, or playing the same type of champions roles, etc. can be really tiresome, and breaking it down to play support every now and then, or top, or etc. whatever you don't play is actually really nice. So I'm going to start the dragon right now. We do have, I think I'm going to throw down a pink on it, I'd imagine. Yep, throw down a pink. See that there's no wards. Now, ideally, I probably should have put the pink basically where dragon is standing right now to have full vision of the pit. But they don't have a ward, so it's okay anyway. Ezreal does come down to try and steal it, but we do get out there safely and manage to secure ourselves that dragon. Now, Lee Sin is hanging around in the area. He may be looking for someone who is relatively low, or he is on his way mid for the Zilean. Again, Zilean doing fairly well. If we look into the CS, he's actually ahead of the Zed. He is going to try and move out of the position. Now, unfortunately for this Lee Sin, he does manage to do the insect ward kick, but he can't follow up on landing the Q. He lands the Q now, but let's just see if the Zilean will get out while I'm moving back into lane. There's not really much point continuing to watch. There's Zilean ult, basically just to completely deter the Lee Sin from going any further. He does actually get it to pop. Lee Sin is still hanging around in the area. Quinn is getting chased by a Zed and a Renekton. Quinn does pick up Zed, but yeah, this fight's not going great. We do actually have a Quinn top, so that's a bit unique. I have played Quinn top in the past, but yeah, it's okay. But against a Renekton, you have to be extremely careful. Anyway, returning to bot lane. As we know, Annie is not here. We saw her around that little fight, so that does give us pressure down bot. And you can see right now I am pushing it as quick as I can. Maxing Flay I will add because I'm someone that does auto-attack a lot. Obviously, the Flay will deal magic damage on hit, and then also the value of this is equal to the total souls plus up to 200% of attack damage. So with my AD reds, it does actually make my Flay do a considerable amount of damage. Now, you saw the hook go up this direction. I was expecting Ezreal to E over the wall. He has E'd now. But we are just simply going to get this tier 2. Not much to it. Going to try and maybe go for the kill onto the Ezreal. I am, you know, tower tanking right now, but we just end up just going for the tower. Then the jump comes in and we manage to pick up the kill. So I didn't, in hindsight, I probably didn't even need to flash the Ezreal there, but just better to be safe than sorry. And we have found ourselves a Zed. So hello Zed, how are you doing? So we probably do need to start backing off right now. There is a Lee Sin and a Zed in the area. Nice. I love that spell. It's such a good spell. And we're just simply going to pick up the Zed first. There we go. He goes down. And then we're going to move over to help our Jinx. Also, a Zilean is in the area, so this is also going to help. Zilean, he's going to try and get away, but there you go. Jinx finishes off the kill with her ultimate. Lovely souls for me, just collecting them every now and then. And yeah, game going fairly well now from bot lane. Annie is, well, tried to get that hook there, but yeah, that was a bit ambitious. So just going to continue to siege the turret. Now I have to be careful because a flash Tibbers or a engage from Ezra, etc. would probably kill us right now, or at least me, myself, and then maybe even Jinx. So it's better to be, you know, a bit safe. Now Jinx has used Pigeon Form to roam to mid lane, and she's simply just going to take the turret. As yeah, having nothing else to do in top lane. She has the wave starting to push against her, which I presume she's going to take mid and then head back top eventually with this big wave to take. Now she doesn't actually manage to get the mid turret yet, so that is a wasted Pigeon Form, but she does get a considerable amount of damage on it that it is nearly down. Anyway, I did go back to buy, and with my plunder, I actually bought myself a chain vest with mobility boots, upgraded the ruby sight stone, and also got a vision ward. Obviously, I had the philosopher's stone for quite some time. It's earned me 444 gold as of now. Now that is A scary combo, I may add, is the Zilean with the Thresh. Now, Renekton is going quite ham in the fact that he's used his ultimate, he is going for the kills, etc. Ignite is down on me, but very good Jarvan knockup. So they wasted a lot for basically just nothing for me. We use no summoners, I believe. I didn't use any summoners myself, as I didn't have them up. So they wasted Renekton ult, the Renekton Ignite. So yeah, that's actually quite a good position for us. Unfortunately, though, they have grouped a little bit quicker than we are able. Jinx is not in the area to cover the mid lane, but Jarvan is going to try his best just to cover off the lane. Nice combo just to try and get the minions low as possible, and I think this may deter them from the tower, at least until Jinx and myself arrive, and I believe it does do the trick. Now, Quinn is top farming, and Annie is about to be in the fight, so we do actually have to be relatively careful as we are going to be outnumbered. Now, I did see Annie from that ward in Banana Bush around this area. Now, I do actually fail my ward there with the Draven face. Now, I will actually note a lot of people have the Draven ward. I didn't expect as many people, but in the end of the day, it's Draven. Welcome to the League of Draven. So I'm not really surprised, I guess, that so many people have that ward. I would say not the majority of people, but you know, I would say the majority of people that have custom ward skins do have the Draven one. You know, I'm just hanging around in mid lane, but I've decided, because I'm bored, just to do the race myself. Having that little bit of AD and now 50 odd AP from my passive will actually help me kill these wraiths nice. Well, not really quickly, but you know, nice goal for me. And I will actually advise supports to do this later on in the game, as it will help you maintain a little bit of gold. In that supports, as mentioned, right now don't get gold. So if you can just take a Wraith camp near the late game or mid to late game, or you can take a Wolf camp, etc., then do it. You may as well. If your AD carry's gone back to base and the lane is pushed, go to double golems or start them at least and try and get one of them for yourself. So yeah, just little things like that will actually help you stay on target with gold, to help you just generally stay in the game. Anyway, we get the mid turret. I am actually looking maybe for engage right now, but we do have to be careful. He does actually kick me, throw my ultimate down, and you can see again how much damage they're trying to put on me to get me. Very nice ult by Zilean, which does actually save my life. But unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, and no, unfortunately, Jinx was not in the fight again, which is a bit annoying that people are not grouping, but we're not getting nothing for it. Jinx is absolutely tearing apart their base, and the fact that I'm also going to be grouping as well, and we're going to take this inhib nice and quick. But this will probably lead to our deaths. But in the end of the day, a free inhibitor turret and inhib is, I would say, a rather good thing. Now, one thing we should have done is we should have respected that we're probably, nearly probably going to die, and we should not have stayed grouped. We should have run to the hills and run away, or not fight him. So this was probably my fault. I'll put my hands up and say this. We should have probably respected that we had enough and just got away. Right now I am trying to kill the Renekton. Come on! No. Unfortunately, he has a little bit too much life steal with his, well, he had 60 odd health, so that might have been 2 auto attacks for me. But I just can't pick it up. But in the end of the day, they do manage to actually become top of us in kills, but gold-wise we are still ahead, and we have an inhibitor. So that means all our minions in this game are buffed. That means, you know, if we actually compare, a lot of people don't realise this. Look at the AD of this caster minion here, it's 56. If we look at the enemy caster minion, it's 37. That is the difference. It's huge. Many people don't actually realise it actually does that to minions, so now you know. See, the more you know, it would flash onto the screen right now, but I'd probably get in trouble. So anyway, returning to the game, and I've actually bought myself a Giant's Belt. Unfortunately, Jinx doesn't manage to hit the Lantern in time, so it does reach too long distance and does reset. But I picked up my Giant's Belt. That will probably lead into my Sunfire Cape or Cloak. I never remember what the actual name of the item is. But yeah, I play a fairly tanky support that I like getting into the mix. As you guys know, I play champions that generally are in the middle of team fights. You know, Jarvan, Lee Sin, Elise, etc. I play champions that go into the team fight, and that's not different than what I play in support. Anyway, trying to catch both of these guys. Nice hook onto the Lee Sin, which will lead probably straight in him warding over to the rest of my team. And he may not get away. So, yep, wasn't going to say he may get away. But, yeah. Anyway, that does lead us to have Baron pressure. Their smite is down. They do have a ward in the local area, so we do still have to be careful. I'm just going to jump over the wall because I would have probably died if I stayed in that area for a little bit longer. Now we still have to be careful. This Ezreal will do considerable amount of damage, so will the Renekton, and so will the Zed. Now the Baron is going down quite quickly, but the engage does come out, and we're just simply probably going to just try and kill them. There's a nice Jarvan, and that will... Yep, he goes down by our Jinx, making our Jinx 7-2-2. Rather nice score. She does go for the W, and it would have hit, but Zed does manage to flash away to avoid the slow. And I do land my hook onto a minion, unfortunately, which isn't great. And we're just going to go for the tier 2. So instead of Baron, we managed to pick ourselves up a kill and just pretty much more game dominance that has led us back into the lead of kills, being 16-14. But one thing we have to be careful of right now is the enemy Baron rush. It's a fairly common used technique in solo queue. Once one team has forced a Baron and they are forced out of it to base, then even the team behind will try and go do the Baron. But many of us have, well, some of us have bought home guard boots, or Jarvan, pretty much the only one, and the super minions in the enemy base from this bot lane has basically made it impossible for the enemy team to consider it right now, and that is why I generally like, out of all inhibs, the two that I love getting the most is middle. Obviously middle controls the game. Middle will make you, if you get this middle turret, it will make you either go mid or bottom lane. It gives you a direction that you can go in either way, where also I do like it in bot lane, as this point here is the furthest point from here, and if you see people clearing super minions here, you can do Baron. So yeah, it's a fairly obvious technique, and it's one that works very, very well. But anyway, the reason being that I got a Sunfire Cape this game is the fact that we have 2 AD carries. You may be like, why? We are very squishy as a team if you really think about it. Now, Jinx is doing a lot of damage to Lee Sin. Unfortunately, he does W away to avoid the ultimate. And Jinx is tanking a tower a little bit too much, but I have no idea what Renekton is doing right now. Zed does go quite ham for the Jinx. Does go down, unfortunately. I'm in the mix of the team fight. I think I do go down, which is a bit annoying. But that was... I will not put everything onto Jinx there, but she just tanked that turret a little bit too much. That forced the Zed able to kill her pretty much straight away, which is unfortunate, but we still pick up the tier 2. As we have 2 AD carries, it's making it so that we can just push. Now, unfortunately, Quinn does get stunned on the tower, which does make her basically die. And that was rather an early Zilean ult, I will say, but it does happen probably occasionally that you don't do great ults on Zilean. It's basically a prediction game. Ezreal comes down. Nice Zhonya's, but I don't know if it will save him. Or maybe it will. There's a bomb and kablooey. And then he's going for the Lee Sin. Nice slow, but unfortunately I do think he will get away. Zilean now with double buffs. Ezreal's going quite ham on him right now, so don't know if he will survive. Need a bomb. Unfortunately, I don't think he manages. Oh, I might be able to. Oh, no, I don't. No, not yet. He does fail the E, okay, and then whoosh, I actually get that, so there's a nice double buff for me, I'm not complaining. And then we're going to move on to the Lee Sin. Fortunately, that W does miss. That would have probably secured the jump there. Do hook over to the red buff to continue my little chase for the Lee Sin, and then continue into the midst of their jungle. Now, I don't think we continue any further. I have picked myself up an Oracles, and we do have a ward in this position, so we vaguely know who's in the area. I do throw a ward down there, and then we find an Annie. So hello, little girl. I think I may go for you relatively soon. Jinx is in the area, kinda. So auto attack war, and I've got red buff, so you can see the damage that a Thresh can do is considerable. The minions actually do pick up the tower there, so this is actually quite nice. Get the kill on Annie, and then gonna maybe continue for the Renekton. We do have the pigeon with us, so this will help us pick up the kill as well as Jarvan. And there we go, double kill for Jinx, and that will probably lead the game coming to an end relatively soon. I am actually baiting. This was pure bait right now, in that many times you can actually, excuse that was probably Vent just DCing randomly, but many times you can actually bait out a Lee Sin by just standing still, and they'll think they can kill you, but he doesn't realise that I'm that tanky. I've just reconnected, so excuse that generally doesn't happen. But anyway, thanks for watching. This was a Thresh commentary. Luckily that kind of sound just happened at the end. But the question for today is, what is your favourite support and why? Is it Blitz or Thresh because you can do them mega hooks? Is it Nami or Sona because you can just sustain your AD carry? What is it? Let me know. If you don't like playing support, mention that and say why. You know, support is a good role. You can have good fun in it, and you can make the game, you can make or break the game. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.